Hello, you beautiful people. So, now that patch 4.0 is right around the corner, it feels like a big breath of fresh air as we basically went from having literally nothing worth talking about to being overwhelmed with content. Like, we went from having one character per patch in the beta for almost 5 months at this point, to now having four amazing ones counting the two new buffed characters. Anyways, in today's video, I'm going to talk about all the characters that we'll see appearing on the limited banners in patch 4.0 while breaking down their kits, full value, advantages or disadvantages, and all that so you can decide what's best for your account. With that being said, let's start and cover the first character of this patch and our first ever Elation character, Yao Guang. So, personally, I think that Yao Guang is a very special character because she is our introduction to the new Elation path with its mechanics, and I think she does a great job at not only being interesting, but having a really good kit as well. Her kit mainly revolves around her ultimate, and when you use it, it causes a new type of follow-up attack called an aha instant moment to occur. Now, for those who don't know what this aha instant is, think of it like a Robin ultimate, but only made for Elation characters specifically, so that they can use their Elation skills along with this. By this point, I think everyone is aware that anything related to a team-wide advance generally ends up being really broken, as it gives so much value to any team that can utilize them properly. Along with this, we all know how strong Robin was on her release, as she was unarguably the best Harmony character, and I personally think that Yao Guang is a great comparison to her. I'm saying this because I think that Yao Guang will fit into the upcoming Elation meta as the primary team-wide buffer that deals solid sub-DPS damage on top of all the buffs that she provides to the team. Additionally, since her talent enables anyone on the team to deal small amounts of Elation damage whenever they take action, she is not entirely locked to Elation teams either, and can also work with some different characters like Dan Hengayao. Yao Guang's other abilities are really solid as well due to her Elation skill, which increases the damage that enemies take, while also providing some team-wide resistance penetration to your entire team with her ultimate. Now, to solidify her position in the upcoming Elation meta, she also boosts your entire team's Elation by a percentage amount of her own Elation, which does end up being quite a high amount due to the number of self-buffs that she gets. Overall, I think that Yao Guang will scale really well into the future as the value of her ultimate only really gets better with the more Elation characters that you have on the team, because the more Elation units you have, the more Elation skills will be used during her ultimate, which obviously translates to more damage. Pretty simple, right? I will say though, at the moment Yao Guang's numbers aren't really looking that overpowered, but since this is the first iteration of her kit, or you can say V1, I don't really think this matters too much as her kit will probably get tweaked during the next couple of weeks, and conceptually, her kit still sounds really great for the future, especially because she's best in slot support for Sparxie, who I'll be talking about in a second. All in all, I think Yao Guang has an extremely high pull value as she'll probably find her way into at least one powerful Elation team this year, and you can't go wrong with pulling a support anyway. Now let's move on to Sparxie, who on the other hand is our first Elation main DPS character, and I think her kit is just as good as Yao Guang. So, in my opinion, Sparxie as a DPS unit does three things really well. Firstly, her damage ceiling is completely broken as she can enhance her own basic attack up to 20 times to deal massive amounts of fire damage nukes to enemies on the field. The multiplier of her enhanced basic attack can go from just being solid to literally being some of the highest multiplier in the entire game, even including the ultimate abilities of other characters. Like, a well-built Sparxie's basic attack can easily hit over 1 million damage in her best in slot team, and I've even seen above 2 million damage sometimes, which is pretty good. Next up, the second thing she does well is working great despite not even having a full team right now. At the moment, Sparxie's best in slot team is the Harmony form of herself, which just got buffed, and Yao Guang as well. Now, even though this team is currently pretty good and works quite well, it does lack a proper sustain character, which can limit her a little, due to not being able to have enough skill points to fully max out her enhanced basic attack 20 times. Despite all this, I think Sparxie functions really well while being quite versatile in all of the different endgame contents and doesn't even really require Yao Guang that much to do well. All in all, I think this is a great sign as when Sparxie does get her full team, she can be even stronger and reach even higher damage ceilings than she already can. Finally, the last thing Sparxie does well is having a very fun playstyle, as there's really nothing more fun than gambling skill points. Overall, I can't say that Sparxie has a higher pull value than Yao Guang due to her being a main DPS unit. But I will say that she is a great option if you have Harmony Sparkle, as she is currently her own best teammate and enables her entire kit really well. I would even say that Sparxie is one of the best DPS units at the moment, but honestly, you never know who will get power crept in the future. Actually, speaking about power creep, a character that was power crept almost immediately after release was Black Swan. I won't lie, when I first saw that she was getting a Nova Flare, I was kind of surprised, but looking at it from a different perspective, she really did need one, as she was struggling quite a lot to keep up in the meta, and the release of Hyacinths basically killed her. Now though, after the buffs, I can say that she is a really powerful unit because they addressed most of the problems that she had in her kit with her new Nova Flare. So, personally, I would say that Black Swan's Nova Flare is quite simple and they kept things mostly the same. What is new is the fact that she now has some of the strongest debuffing abilities in the game, with tons of vulnerability and defense shred added to her kit. Additionally, she also stacks Arcana significantly faster, and it can be detonated by Kafka now, which is a pretty big deal. In my opinion though, the best thing in her Nova Flare is that now you can go above the previous cap of 50 Arcana, and you even retain stacks on detonation. For those that don't understand what this means, I'll put it into simpler terms for you guys. Basically, Black Swan is now truly a premium DOT character in every sense of the word. Firstly, she is just as good, if not better, personal damage than Hyacinths in the premium DOT team now. Now, obviously Hyacinths is the better character overall, but Black Swan isn't even far behind her, which is a huge upgrade than before. You can even say that the triple DOT meta is back, because the triple DOT team is basically just as good as the Cyrene variant, which is amazing, as Cyrene is probably the most contested support in the game right now, and that already gives Black Swan a ton of value, as being able to use Cyrene elsewhere is a big positive. All in all, I would definitely recommend pulling Black Swan if you're a DOT enjoyer, as when she is paired with Hyacinths and Kafka, you get some of the best performances in the game for such a simple and comfortable team to play. Finally, we have Sparkle, or you can say the buffed version of Sparkle. So, Sparkle in my opinion was a character that was so close to being overpowered on release, but never really reached her full potential up until now. Her Nova Flare changes are quite simple but effective, as they increase the amount of skill points she provides with her ultimate, and also made her buffs more universal while being way better. You may think I'm brushing over things in her Nova Flare right now, but these are quite literally all of her buffs, and despite her buffs not being that extensive, Sparkle is now one of the most powerful supports in the entire game. She has the strongest Harmony buffs at E0 and is basically versatile enough to slot into any single team in the entire game with no restrictions at all. Like, any team you have that doesn't have 4 required characters, for example the Memo Sprite team, well, Sparkle now has high value in that team. Additionally, she is also the best in slot support for characters like Archer and Dan Hong-il, who received massive buffs with her changes. Honestly, I don't even have much to yap about, as Sparkle is just broken now, even being Sparxie's best teammate on her release in patch 4.0. Overall, Sparkle is just an amazing generalist support that's basically usable wherever you want her. I think she might actually be the highest pull value Harmony unit, especially if you want a good support to carry you and all your teams. Anyways, with that, I'm done discussing the pull value for all the newly releasing characters and the units getting a direct buff in version 4.0. Overall, all 4 of these units are great, but if I was to choose one, I'd probably lean towards Sparkle if you aren't interested in Elation meta, or Yao Guang if you do plan to invest into the Elation characters. Other than those two, Sparxie and Black Swan are great characters too, especially if you're interested in their respective playstyle. Do let me know if you're planning to pull for anyone in the next patch, or if you're skipping the patch entirely for other upcoming characters. Also, if you ended up watching until the end, you might want to consider subscribing as well. With that being said, I just want to say I love y'all, and I will see you in another one.